Hey guys, well, I'm in front of my shop here. I bought this place with no water, no septic, no nothing. I had some electricity, that's it. I moved that up to 200 amps. It's a 200 amp service there. Put new cellar doors on it. And now I'm trying to put this window in. I put the one in the back here. Did that last week. I'm trying to do the same thing over on the other side here. And the issue was that the boards that I had that existed here came out to here, halfway over the stud. Just in construction, how everything does plywood, it's about halfway over top of the joist and such. So you nail both sides to it. So there was an old frame here. Here's the old windowsill. Sat in here between these two. So what I'm trying to do is make the size of the opening identical to this frame that I made. So this frame is going to go on here, something like that. So I have to get this trimmed in and framed behind it so I can install this. This is just a frame that I made out of pine. You can see that the assembly is all just pocket screws, Craig jig pocket screws. This goes on over top of that. So when I cut out the area for the other window there, I removed siding from that. So I removed siding that is longer than what the other stuff was. This is the siding that came out from these windows here. See how that's the same length as what that is? That was the siding that I cut out. Now this siding is going to go out past that stud and land right about there. And that's gonna be the size of my window right in there somewhere. So they're just a hair short. I'm gonna give myself 1/8 of an inch on each side then so that I can prime the ends of the end grain there and grade up. And then if it's small enough, I'll maybe run a bead of caulk down through that. So I'm gonna use the siding that came from cutting that window out to build out the side here so that it'll fit. A couple things are playing in here. There's two terms that in construction you really want to know. One is plumb. So plumb is, if I held a string, this thing called plumb bob, I can grab one, show you what it is, but it's a string that has a weight on the bottom of it. And when that hangs down and you let the bobber at the bottom stop motion, then you're going to have a line that is absolutely perpendicular to the horizon. So it's straight up and straight down. If you held this level here, this is a 6-foot level, to the edge of a house, it should be even with it. So it should be that when we look at this thing, we see our bubbles that are in here. The bubble that's in there right now, see how it's moving across there? When I have it so that the bubble is dead center between those two lines there, and that means that this is sitting straight up and down. So that's plumb. The other term is level. So if I hold this piece right on here, like so, it should have the bubble in between that way. So we have two bubbles. Whichever way is horizontal is the way you're supposed to be reading them. So this one's horizontal, that's for reading for plumb. And now these are horizontal here, this bubble here, so that's reading for level. So the issue here is I have a plumb building, but the siding is not level on it. So I'm going to have to kind of compensate. Because if I want to look at what level is, if I hold this up to the edge, I'll hold it so you guys can see that, I have to raise this high up, and right there is dead level. And you can see how, if I move away from this, you can see how there's so much siding over here, down below it. On this side here, you can't even see it. It terminates right here. It goes down below the siding. So we're off over 6 feet by about 1.5 inches, which is a lot. So what I have to do is I have to kind of figure out in between there where it's going to be, it's going to look right, and it's also going to, because if I just went ahead and made this thing level, it would look very weird on here. So I'm going to compensate between the two there. So it's going to be a little out of plumb and a little out of level. And that's the issue with working with homes that are like this one. This house was built back in the 1870s. The settling has occurred. We're low on the outside here. You can see the framework of this, how this was put together. We have all these stone pillars here. I just had those repointed. In fact, the entire shop was just repointed. For all the stonework, they took a hammer drill, knocked out all the old mortar, and put the new mortar in here. So this is all new mortar in between all the stones. I've already done all the other windows in past summers. Another project that we're going to be doing during this Corona vacation is, if you look up on the eaves up there, those are called returns. That is a soffit return or a fascia return. That return and the one over here where my power comes into my house are missing. In fact, we had a major storm here a while ago. I took down the power lines, took that to the new telephone pole. One down there's a new telephone pole. And you can see that here's the piece that came off of that. So it has crown molding here, and it has a piece to the crown molding attached to it. And this piece here was where my electric line was attached. Right there. That's where the cable came into. You can see it's screwed right into the board there. I'm going to set this board so it's not on the ground there, because if it's on the ground, it's going to deteriorate. So I'll put it, you know what, I'm just going to set it right here for now. Just to keep it off the dirt. Dirt and wood is not a good mixture. It starts to deteriorate and decompose, and eventually you got real problems. So we have to get that window cut in, and then afterwards I'm going to put the siding back up against it, butt up against the side there. So I have to go ahead and cut my top angle where it's going to fit into, so I can mark my bottom. This frame, eventually, by the way, my summer kitchen, I'm working on those windows also there inside. This is going to be a blacksmith shop. I just finished this door, putting on some hardware there. This frame, however, I'll turn that off so you can see a little bit better in here. This is the frame. And this is the window that I was glazing earlier. I showed you how I installed the putty inside all those buttons there, all the window dividers with the wavy glass. So this is going to be down. That's going to be behind the frame. And the frame is going to sit over top of this. So I have it upside down. The other end has an angle on it, so that sits in here a little bit nicer, but I'll show you what this looks like. So here's the window, what it's going to look like. It's got an angled sill there, so the water is able to shed off, and up at the top then it also has an angle. So if we look at the side profile of it, you can see that here's an angle, and down at the bottom, the sill also has an angle. Both areas shed water, same as like a roof. So a roof has a pitch to it. These also have a pitch to it. So right now, I'm just trying to get that area all opened up there, taking off the siding. One of the things you always have to do when you're doing demolition is make sure you move all the old nails and things like that, because when you go to install the siding on next, it's not going to sit right. You're going to wonder what the heck's going on. Something below that is there, and that's always a consideration when you're doing any demolition and then reconstruction on old work like that. So this is the place where I work. It's across from my house, very convenient, and I'm going to be taking you guys on a little bit of a journey in construction manufacturing, working on the things around the house here and trying to relate them to what we're doing in the classroom. Okay, so soon I will have things all set out. I'll show you the inside of that room first. Some things that are going to have to be done. I thought that I might have to work on that studding. This is the inside here. I thought I would have to work on this stud here, but the siding that I'm putting up here is going to overlap that. This is the same length as that siding. So it's going to sit up against that corner trim and overlap it like that. So on the left side, I'll have a hinge that I can go ahead and open up the window with. Okay? So that is my project for the next couple days. And you guys are going to be along with me doing it. All right? Hey, I'll say it every video. I miss you guys. Sincerely, I do. I wish you guys were out here and I could show you guys this in person, because to me this is way interesting. So I hope during this next week that we have in here, next couple weeks that we have in here, that you guys do enjoy the projects that we're doing. Okay? All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.